We do a segment called Small Caps for People Too in the program, and it's really a small cap focus. The reason we do this is we do spend a lot of time talking about the Apples of the world. We do spend a lot of time talking about Google's. My stock picks were up 61% last year because I spread my picks over the course of a lot of different type of investments. I'm not even counting what I made on privately held companies last year. So Larry Isen and I share this serial addiction to small cap companies.
I'm a serial micro cap investor.
So
give me 4 letters and let me have my point and click software.
I'll give you 4 letters. LUXR. You introduced me to this company a couple of weeks ago. Talk to us a little bit about your relationship with them.
I first of all, I got to tell everybody that I am a shareholder of LuxeYard. Not only have I bought shares in the open market, not only have I bought shares that are free trading, I'm also a direct investor of the company via a private placement. So I've helped finance their growth personally. So everybody should be aware of that before we get started talking about the company.
But let's not gloss over that, because if you have your own money in this deal, you must believe in this deal.
Well, just because I have my own money in this deal doesn't guarantee success.
No, but it means you believe in it.
Guarantee I believe in it.
Okay, very good. Well, let's talk.
I believe that people today are going to learn about the future of retailing.
Well, I want to introduce you folks to the chairman of the board of a company called LuxeYard, luxyard.com, LuxeYard.com. His name is Amir Mireskandari. Amir, welcome to the program, brother. How are you? Good to have you in the studio.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
So listen, let's give a quick overview to our audience, TV and radio. What is LuxeYard and what is luxyard.com?
LuxeYard is the next generation of flash sale sites. Okay. Flash sale sites, it's a brand new industry, probably 3-4 years old, where sites were able to showcase branded goods at a much lower price, more discounts than retailers.
Why 70% off.
Yes. Well, so 70. So why do they call it flash though? Where does that come from?
Because the inventory is limited. You're able to source the inventory because it's limited. It's sourced at a lower price. And that limitation allows X units available to the public to buy through the website.
So the manufacturer reserves, let's say, 1,000 units of something that would normally sell for $1,000 or for $500, and it gives you guys a special price because you're buying it in bulk, and it gives you a chance to offer that to your customers, so to speak.
Yeah, actually, the industry came around because of the recession, and there was a lot of inventory left.
Well, let's talk about retail, because retail is, of course, today we get retail numbers out of the data points. Retail looks good, but we don't buy things the same way we used to buy things. The old days of retailing are over, aren't they?
Totally. There's a total paradigm shift in retail. And when you look back on traditional retailers, go back to even the Macy's, the Montgomery Wards, and even recently the big boxes. Decision has always been made by the retailer. The retailer would decide where the box would be placed, what product would be sold in the box, who would sell it, how they would price it, and how they would advertise it.
And that's the old brick and mortar model. How has that changed now?
Now, traditionally the last piece of the puzzle was the consumer that would actually make the purchase, and that was as much interaction the consumers would have in the retail process. In the new world, because of the convergence of social networking, the internet, and the new buying habits, 90% of the decisions made are by the consumer.
So retailers have to empower the consumer now. Where just before they're trying to get their money, they've got to empower them in the decision-making process, correct?
Totally. It used to be that the retailers would push product to the consumers. Now the consumers will decide what products need to be carried and how.
It's like, tell us what you want, we'll go out and find a deal, and 70% off is what you're going to pay.
It's Sales 101. By the way, the chairman of the board for LuxeYard Corporation, Amir Mireskandari, LuxeYard's stock symbol is LUXR. And, of course, here for our television audience, there's a website, luxyard.com, LuxeYard. Yeah, it's interesting because Sales 101, the first thing they tell you is, well, don't try to sell your customer. Ask what you want.
Yeah.
And you're right. Retailers don't ask me what I want. I walk in. In fact, yesterday, I had a blessed weekend this weekend.
Don't tell me you went and dropped $1,000 at Costco.
No, I didn't do that.
Oh.
But both of my teenage daughters were at a music festival out in the Palm Desert. So I had
was that big festival this weekend?
Yeah, I had a free weekend. It was fantastic. I got in all kinds of trouble. I ate a double cheeseburger. I bought a new car, and I hung out at the mall yesterday. It was fantastic. I had nobody bugging me yesterday. But I will tell you that, walking into Nordstrom or walking into any one of many retailers, it's really a crapshoot. You walk in, that's why they call it shopping. But most men, I believe, would rather know and just go get in, just surgical shopping.
We want to hunt and kill and get out.
Well, and this is kind of what that does. You're empowering the consumer, so I can tell you when I'm going to go and buy if you can step up for me.
Actually, even further, the platform that we created allows us to aggregate demand. So if there's a product that you want and you communicate with the website.
Yeah.
And we have the mechanisms to do that. And there's other people in the country that want the same product. It allows us to aggregate that demand and push the prices lower with a higher volume that we can source from the manufacturer.
So it's basically, hey, Amir wants a black sport coat. Who else wants a black sport coat? And if the demand reaches that level, you guys make the decision. Okay, we're gonna fulfill this. Is that kind of how that works?
That was actually our first generational improvement on flash sale sites, and we've actually taken it a step further now. And what we've done is, there's because of social networking and because of sites, other sites that people pin up what they actually like. And the commentary on people's likes and forwarding and repinning products that they're actually interested in allows databases to harness the demand that people have.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it's not even, the first generation would be, everybody wants a black blazer.
Yeah.
We all aggregate it together. We go source it and get it to you at a lower price because
we can buy more of them.
Actually, it's that, but more importantly, we've kind of taken away all the layers of cost retailers have. Rents.
So you're walking in with a check and saying, okay, let's forget the shipping and let's forget the advertising, let's forget the packaging. I just want the blazer.
That's it.
Let me tell you something. I worked for Price Club, which many of you are too young to know what that means. It used to be called Costco. Used to be called Price Club. So all through college,
it was the father of Costco.
It was, and it was
the first warehouse membership store.
That's exactly right. And I worked there through college, and it was a fantastic experience for me. And one of the things is the joke I make all the time, if you want to buy cheese to make a grilled cheese sandwich, go to the grocery store. If you want to build a house out of cheese, go to Costco. Because that's but they sell it in bulk because they buy it in bulk because it's cheaper that way. Right. And that was kind of the first paradigm shift for the big box retailers, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of the Walmart or the Sam's Club, I would assume. Sam's Club and Costco and those types of those stores. Let's talk about internet sales because I personally, and I know that a lot of our listeners, we got a pile of people listening and watching the show. I'm one of those guys, the only reason I'll go to a mall is to get outside or because my girls drag me there. I prefer to shop online. Is that going to remain? Because it seems to me every year I do the numbers on the retail spending in December, more and more shopping is done online. Is this the way it's going to be?
Absolutely. The trend is there. Everybody sees it. It's, when you look at a mall, half the stores, not half, but a good portion of those stores are services now. And people, if they go into a mall, they'll go into a name brand store, take a look at the product, and maybe order it online.
The interesting part about this whole thing is it's not just a retail model, especially online. It's not just about retail. It's also about there's an advertising revenue model, and at 51 past the hour, Amir is going to tell us about that. Amir Mireskandari is our guest. He's the chairman of the board of LuxyArd, luxury for all, luxyard.com. That's LuxyArd. Stock symbol LUXR, and of course, Larry comes up with another winner.
Sign up to be a member.
So I'll tell you what, at 51 past the hour, Larry's going to show you how to sign up to be a member. Amir's going to tell you about the different types of business models involved with the company. And what I'm going to do is just sit here and look stupid because I got smart guys around me once again. Ain't that great? Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com, CBS Radio, Business Talk Radio, Armed Forces Radio Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. God bless the military men and women serving our country overseas and underway. More from LuxyArd at 51 past the hour. The Big Biz Show and our affiliates, our hosts, are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers. Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general. Given the nature of the companies profiled and the lack of an active trading market for their securities, investing in such securities is highly speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We profiled publicly traded and privately held companies on our program. We also do segments like Small Caps or People Too, Put That in Your Man Purse, and Buy, Sell, or Hold. The Big Biz Show has entered into agreements to provide exposure for most of these companies, and those companies agree to compensate us either in free trading shares, restricted stock, or cash. To avoid all potential conflicts of interest, we do not sell shares into the open market during any company interview or any period thereafter in which the value of those shares might be impacted by our agreement. This means as we release new information about a particular company, either during our broadcast, on our website, or otherwise authored by us, you can be confident that we are not selling shares at the same time. Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by going to BigBizShow.com, Small Caps or People Too segment. or contacting bigbizradio@yahoo.com. Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We encourage our listeners to invest carefully and read the investor information available on the websites of the Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov. Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. Quick visit to the numbers real quick. Coming up in hour number 2, I got a huge show coming up for you. I got the OTC market report with Larry Isen. He's going to tell you exactly what's going on there. Dow Jones up about 0.5%, NASDAQ down about 1%. We'll get specific on that in a second. We're right in the middle of a small cap segment with a company called LUXyard. Amir Mireskandari is the chairman of the board. He's in studio here. Their stock symbol LUXR. Of course, their website, luxyard.com. Larry, you mentioned about memberships before we went to a break. Talk to us about membership. What does that mean?
Well, this is what's really, really exciting about what's going on at LuxyArd. The company officially launched its service at the end of January. Since the end of January, the company has already added over 500,000 registered users. Now, let me put that in perspective for you. At the rate that they're going right now, there'll be over 1 million by the end of June.
1 million people that, like you said,
registered.
Are registering to tell us what they like, so that gives more buying power for you guys, correct?
Let me tell you why that's so exciting, Sully. They're going to get to 1 million registered users faster than Facebook did and faster than Twitter did.
Boy, that's a pretty big number.
And I'm telling you, venture capitalists are throwing money at companies like this.
Amir and I were talking about a thing called verticals on the commercial break. Define for our listeners and viewers what verticals are in your business and why that's important to your business.
A vertical is a category of product.
Okay.
Like home furnishings would be one vertical.
Okay.
Women's apparel would be one vertical.
Okay.
And
how about racing road bicycles? Can we make that one? Because I'm interested. Okay, I got you.
All right. Just specially for you, Sully. That's all we're going to do.
So now, how many verticals do you have right now?
Actually, can we go back to that comment you made?
Yeah, right.
You know, we're introducing a technology. We'll introduce it this week. That if you actually have that product or see it anywhere on the internet, you could click on it. Using our technology, it gets it on our site, and other members vote on that product also.
And if it's popular enough?
If it's popular enough, we have organic democratic demand.
You can lobby, Sully, for
I've not seen anything like this.
Bicycle product.
This is really a social network for purchasers. It empowers buyers better than any other thing I've ever seen.
What we like to look at it is actually a step further than that. It's how you monetize social networking. How do you take this phenomenal industry or this trend that's out there, and how do you make money out of it? You harness demand that's grown out of people communicating with each other, talking about products.
Sure. And speaking of your revenue model, talk specifically about that because you guys are right in the middle of this paradigm shift. You guys are at the tip of the spear, so to speak.
That's right.
I mean, you guys are changing. I mean, you've thrown out the rule book on all retailers, including Amazon.com and other online retailers. I mean, you've not only thrown out the book on the big box and brick and mortar retailers, you're also throwing out the book on existing internet retailers. Tell us about how your revenue model works.
Our revenue model is based on actually sourcing products and at a deep discount and showing it on our site. Mm-hmm. As our membership grows, we will not switch, but actually transition to more demand-driven products that we need to source. We don't have the overhead that a traditional retailer has.
Sure.
We work on a very slim margin, so we can source the product and have it available for our consumers at a very great price because we don't have to mark it up like a traditional retailer would.
Because you're taking all the layers out.
I mean, I'll give you a quick example.
Sure.
Let's say a name brand leather sofa.
Okay, sure.
And traditionally, and this is for decades, it's been if it was $1,000 sofa, it would sell for $2,000 or $2,200 because
out of the showrooms.
Out of the showrooms.
Right, sure.
So let's create a scenario which is true to life today, where 50 or 100 people mentioned or were inclined to buy that sofa.
Okay.
We went to the manufacturer and said, look, your wholesale is $1,000. Mm-hmm. We got 100 orders for this product. Would you sell it to us at $80?
Sure.
If they say yes, which at this point 90% of the people say yes to this kind of demand coming.
Well, sure, because it's a bird in the hand, and a piece of the pie is better than none of the pie, especially in this economic market.
And by the way, you said $80. I think you meant $800.
800. Yeah, 80% though.
Yeah.
He was talking about 80%.
80% of wholesale.
Yeah, right.
Our markup is in the 20% margin.
Sure.
So we could actually provide that to the consumer for less than $1,000 compared to the retailer, and
still take a 10 to 15% profit after. So that's fantastic. By the way, Amir Mireskandari is the chairman of the board here of LuxyArds Corporation. LUXR is their stock symbol. LUXR. Their website, luxyard.com, luxyard.com. As Larry says, you can sign up and become a member. What happens when you become a member, Amir?
Actually, it's great. We as you become a member, we communicate with you every day. We send an email to you that you've opted in to receive every morning. We have the challenge and the fun part of this industry is our inventory changes every day because we have limited amount of inventory.
But it gives you a reason to let me know every day how the inventory's changed. That's actually pretty brilliant, to be honest with you.
So and not only we show you new inventory every day, the deals are so good. People are like eager to get on our site right as soon as we announce our sale for the day. So people maybe put an alarm, make sure they're a couple of minutes or right at the time that the email goes out, they're online, because if it's limited inventory, they don't want to miss it.
I'll tell you what, Larry, you don't do as good of a job as Amir. I just have to tell you. He's been talking to me about this for He's been talking to me about this for 3 weeks, and now I understand it.
I went to the University of Colorado. He went to Harvard. There you go.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference. And I went to San Diego State. So if you need to know anything else, that's it. Amir, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see. So here's the deal. Will you make a commitment so I can get you back on the air next week? Because I think we've only got half the story, even if you have to call in.
Not even half. I'm telling you, the story is fantastic. This is the future of retailing. Standing right there in the studio.
Good stuff. Amir Mireskandari, LuxyArds, LUXR, and then luxyard.com.
Go sign up. Become a member.
There you go.
It's free.
Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. Hour number 2 coming up next. OTC Market Journal Report and James Herson. Stand by.